Hey, C21 Veterans, Ken and Mel coming to you live. I'm in beautiful downtown Pendel. Mel, where you at today?
Right back in Levittown. I love this place.
That's right. Stay in place, man. That's what the governor's asking us to do, so that's what we're going to do. So today, you were probably all up at midnight, getting your application in for the PPP. So this is probably a moot conversation for everybody involved. But if it isn't, and if you haven't done it yet, what we kind of do is want to go through it a little bit, and see if, we can help you guys get through getting this thing done. So Mel, you want to take it?
Yeah, so
Aren't you efficient?
I know, super efficient here. So real quick, when you guys are doing these, you are going to need in hand your last tax return and your Schedule C from that tax return. You're also going to need your 1099 from 2019. So we have heard some lenders are only going to use your 2019 tax return, so you may have to file. Other lenders are using your last tax return that was filed because obviously that was extended this year for us. So
Right.
You're going to need the SBA. So Ken and I mentioned that we had to apply at 3 different places. We might be on our 4th or 5th in the next couple of days, but we did have to apply at a couple places because not everybody is doing these. Not everybody is doing them efficiently. So you're supposed to have an account at the bank. Some are opening it up to different ones. When you guys are filling these in, you're filling them in as if you are either an LLC, which is some of you, or as an independent contractor, because that's what you are with us as an independent contractor. So you're going to either click on the box at the top that applies to you, independent contractor, sole proprietor works, LLC if you actually have an LLC.
Note how Melanie has been able to check 3 boxes.
Yeah.
The left of that where it says check 1. Just so you know, you got to read the form.
Okay, so the word DBA on this side is how you're doing business. You're not doing business as any other name other than your name, so you guys can leave that on the side. Your legal name is going to be your LLC. If you have an LLC, it is going to be your physical name that you receive checks as. Your business address is going to be where you live. This is going to be your town. This is your business EIN. So if you are an LLC or I think LLP is the other one, right? If you're one of those, you're going to have an EIN number. If you're not, it's going to be your social security number. I'm not giving it to you guys.
Keep going.
I don't trust any of you, so we're going like this. Your business phone is going to be your cell number. Your primary contact is going to be your name. Your email address. Please put something that you check routinely. Do not put an email address in here that you never go to.
Guys, we can't overemphasize this enough, man. This is going to a bank and then to the SBA. I promise you somebody is going to follow up with you. If it's sitting there for 2 or 3 days and nobody gets a response on that end, guess where that application's going?
Right. So here's the thing on the average monthly payroll. You can only go up to $100,000. So if you made $155,000, good for you. But when you're doing these calculations, it can only go up to 100. So you have to max out at the 100. If you are a sole proprietor, your wife, your spouse, your kids are not employees of yours. You do not pay them a salary. Even if you do, according to this application, you do not pay them a salary. It is up to your $100,000 total. You can't add your wife or spouse or anything like that on here. So your average monthly payroll, if we go with somebody who made $60,000 for the year, divide that by 12, that's going to be your average monthly payroll. We're going to enter that in here, and we're going to enter times 2.5. We're going 12.5. Oh man, that was a lot. This is going to be the amount you are asking them to give you. This is the amount that you're going to have to pay yourselves in 8 weeks. Ken and I explained during one of the Zoom meetings, you really must have a separate checking account because you are going to need to show, if you get this money from the government, you're going to need to show that you paid yourself $12,500 over the next 8 weeks once the money hits your account. You can't just dump it into your personal account, pay your mortgage, pay your bills, go to the grocery store. You're not going to be able to track that you paid yourself. So John Caton actually has a pretty good way that he does this. He has one checking account, which he has designated business, and that money, just what you see on the screen, will flow into that account. And then he will write himself weekly checks. So he'll take the 12.5 that's on the screen, divide it by 8, and he will pay himself that amount of money over those 8 weeks. I hope that makes sense to everybody.
Well, that way when the SBA comes knocking on your door for proof and you're trying to get this thing granted, so the way you get it granted is you're verifying that you've gotten this money over the last 8 weeks because you're, as an employee, you are paying yourself.
Right.
If all of that is true, they give you a grant. If all of that is not true, they give you a promissory note that says pay this in equal installments over the next 2 years.
Right. And you don't want that. You want to be able to show that you paid yourself. And again, this is free money. So if you pay yourself correctly, they will gift you the money and you do not have to pay it back. Your number of employees is 1. It's you, yourself, and I. So that's it.
Yourself and
you, yourself, and me. I don't know. You're
Hey,
going to
real quick on the math, Mel, before you get away from that,
Yes.
I want to be real clear about the average monthly payment. It does not include for our dual incomers, people who have other jobs and that kind of thing. It only is your real estate
1099.
1099, right? Don't get confused. You can't take your whole salary, get to $100,000, divide by 12. So just
right. If you made 60,000 on your 1099 and you made 24,000 in your other job, you did not make $84,000.
Right.
You did for tax purposes and you got to pay the money. However, for calculations of a PPP loan, your other job does not count. So make sure you guys are careful. It's only what's on your 1099. So we are using it for payroll. It seems very odd because you don't have payroll, but you are the employee. So you're going to use it for payroll. Do not click lease and mortgage interest because you can't use lease and mortgage on your house. So you can't pay your mortgage and then get them to forgive it. You can only pay yourself. Just hope that makes sense. Now, Ken and I, if we get the loan, we can actually pay our rent because we pay as a business for rent. So that's why we're suggesting please only use the word payroll on there. When you are listing the owners of the company, it is yourself. You are your sole proprietor. If you have an LLC, you may have a second person on here. So some LLCs have you might be 80% owner, your spouse might be 20%. Your title, you are the president of your own company. Your ownership. This is back to your TIN is your actual social security and your address physically where you are located so they can come get you. All right, so we got to answer some questions in here, right?
Read the application.
Yep. Right.
If you get the first 2 wrong, stop. I'm just saying, read the application. You don't want to be ineligible on this and then push it in. They may find out. Next thing you know, you're outed.
Right. Number 4, have you ever applied for disaster relief before? You got to say yes or no, right? So this is the new economic injury disaster loan. If you applied for it, you got to say yes if you got it. Most of you are a no on that. Answer your questions in here on owning anything else. And then you are going to come to the bottom. You're going to initial your blocks over here. This is where if you have an iPad, it's really cool because you can open this thing up and just annotate it and you're good to go. Otherwise, you may have to print this and scan it back to yourself so that you can sign all of these yourself. But you will have to initial all these. You will have to sign. You will have to print your name, your title, your date. Your title is president. Remember, you are the president of your own company. Once you're done, save this application as your SBA application. Save it on your computer because if you apply to Bank 1, you're going to need it. If you apply to Bank 2, you're going to need it. What we can say is that when you apply to Bank 1, they're going to have you fill out this, but they're also going to have you fill out their own application. So every bank has their own little unique piece of paper. Some are just 1 page, give us your name and we don't care. Other people are 4 and 5 pages long of what they are in need of. So you'll have to upload this. You'll have to upload your 1099 from 2019. You'll have to upload your Schedule C and your tax returns as well. That should be about what you're in need of for this particular quick loan, but everybody's kind of different. So hopefully that helps with you guys filling out this PPP loan application.
So listen, if you're getting this video right now and you haven't done this yet, you want to stop what you're doing and do this, right? Fill this out, get it in. Somebody is going to give you free money and not going to ask for it as long as you do the right things. I'm just saying, this is if you haven't gotten it done yet, get it done.
Yeah, and just remember, you guys there's definitely rules on how you get the money granted. So please make sure you are paying attention to how the money is granted how you are taking the money in and how you are dispersing the money back to yourself.
And as always, if you have any questions, give us a call.
Yep.